Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
So, Sakeda Shis Kurum Folcho Kriv Larissa Carrasco, you're very welcome, Ambassador. And I suppose, Kahirlik, today we think firstly and foremostly of the people of Ukraine. 3 years ago, Russia launched a brutal criminal invasion of Ukraine. Putin's invasion continues to be an attack on Ukraine's right to self-determination, to sovereignty and to peace. It's also a violation of international law. We've witnessed the largest land conflict and the greatest displacement of people in Europe since the Second World War. The human cost of Russia's military aggression has been paid first and foremostly in a terrible loss of life. The United Nations estimates that 12,654 civilians have been killed, including 669 children. For 3 long years, the people of Ukraine have bravely resisted and withstood Putin's bombardment of their beloved country. They continue to show the world that they will never give in to Russia's terrible military aggression, and Ireland has stood with them, standing on the side of international law towards the day that Ukraine's right to live as a free nation is restored. The focus of the international community must now be on achieving peace, on building a pathway to peace through genuine engagement, constructive dialogue and an inclusive talks process. That, of course, means that Ukraine must have a seat at the table. The very idea that you can build a successful peace while sidelining the invaded nation runs contrary to the most basic of common sense. Any successful peace process must see a restoration of respect for international law, the upholding of Ukraine's right to sovereignty, self-determination and freedom, the right of Ukraine to live as a free nation. Russia's military aggression cannot be rewarded. Peace must prevail. European Union support for Ukraine has shown, no doubt, Europe at its best. It's a stance rooted in the value and principles of international solidarity, democracy, self-determination and human rights. This, sadly, has not been the case when it comes to the Israeli onslaught on Gaza and the genocide against the Palestinian people. And Cathaoirleach, in international relations and law, just as in life, consistency matters. Both these conflicts unfold at a time when the hawkish agenda at the European Union is escalating a drive towards even greater militarisation. This is coupled with the growing push from the EU Commission to undermine the independent foreign policies of member states. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is constantly being cited as a reason why the European Union must militarise, increase spending on weaponry and arms, and force a singular defence policy. This is, in my view, a flawed and indeed a dangerous thinking. It leads the European Union down the cul-de-sac of militarism and inevitable war. We must work to ensure that the European Union remains at its core a partnership for peace. Militarisation and a loss of control of foreign policy is not a way forward. Rather, it sets Europe on a course that repeats the tragic mistakes of the past. Sadly, it's now clear that Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael have bought into this dangerous agenda and now seek to dismantle Ireland's neutrality. I want to be very clear. Ireland has built a powerful voice for peace and justice in the world. We're seen as an honest, credible actor in international affairs because of our status of being military unaligned and our long-standing tradition of neutrality. Ireland's neutrality is our strength. It's now about showing leadership on the world stage, finding solutions, de-escalating crises, contributing to peacekeeping. Ireland's principled refusal to embrace military might as a means of resolving the world's problems is respected. Neutrality is part of who we are as a people, a cherished and shared value of the nation, and one which retains, as you know, overwhelming support. There is no public appetite to change the current position on neutrality. It has allowed Ireland to stand as a champion of peace, equality, democracy and international law. And moves by government to undermine our neutrality, developed over a century of diplomacy, is incredibly short-sighted and would have long-lasting repercussions. I am, Cathaoirleach, very alarmed by reports that the Taoiseach is ready to bring to Cabinet legislation aimed at discarding Ireland's triple lock neutrality protection. Such a move would breach multiple commitments given to the Irish people, particularly during the Nice and Lisbon EU referenda. It also constitutes a fundamental and very negative shift in Irish foreign policy. Sinn Féin will oppose all attempts by government to dismantle our neutrality. We will stand up and defend it every step of the way. Let me say this. If Taoiseach, you and the Taoiseach are so confident that the dismantling of our neutrality commands public support, if you are determined to proceed, then put that plan to the people by way of a referendum and let them decide. Le trí bliana nús tom winse na Hucrána tar éis an ó de cheasamh go cróga I gcoinne onrach brúdúil na Rúise ar a dtír. Tastíonn meas arís den dlí idirnáisiúnta agus de ceart na Hucrána fleachas féin cin túchán agus saoirse a bheith acu. Ní féidir ligad den Rúise tarbh a héhrú ó na ionsaí bagrach míleatach. Caithfí an tíochán bheith I réin. The people of Ukraine have spent 3 long years resisting Russia's brutal invasion of their homeland. They have not given up on the dream of a future of peace, freedom and self-determination, and Ireland will stand with Ukraine until that dream is realised. I hope, indeed I pray, that a workable peace process is achievable in the near future and that we are not back here to mark the 4th anniversary of the invasion. But that will require everyone with political influence and power stepping up to the mark and reaching for peace and justice. Ireland supports Ukraine in joining the European Union if that is the will of its people, and will work to help secure a future of stability and prosperity. We must, Cathaoirleach, continue to choose to be a voice against war, militarisation, colonisation and that destructive mantra that might is right. We must continue to be a voice for peace, diplomacy, dialogue and international law. These, in the end, are the very values that guide our solidarity with Ukraine in the face of Russian aggression.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.